my mind this morning I thought I would share. And I didn't put them there, and I was getting ready this morning. I just kept thinking of a race. We ran our 5K a couple months ago, and I kept thinking, that was fun. We probably need to do that again. It helped us get focused and everything. Thinking more, just what a race means. And what came to my mind is the most important part of the race isn't the finish. Oftentimes, it's the start. Mm-hmm. Because to get on the starting line, it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of work, a lot of mental endurance, a lot of physical endurance to step up to the line and start the race. By the ending is important, but the start to me is the most important part. And sometimes it's the getting to the starting point that's the hardest. So as you start your race, and all that work and challenge has gone in to get you to where you are now, just start. Don't sit at the starting line and just like, okay, gonna go get a coffee, go eat some hot dogs with hamburgers, and
rethink this situation.
I'll get back to the starting line when I'm ready. But you got to make up your mind that you're going to start. Granted, the finish is awesome. Getting to the end and getting to the end of the race, that was awesome.
Amen.
When I crossed that line on the 5K, I thought all that work for all these months, I did it. Woo!
Amen.
But sometimes we won't see the finish for a long time in our life. Hopefully it'll be a long time before we see our ultimate finish. And we cross that line and are in heaven with Jesus. And you got to enjoy the race while it's going. But you got to start. You got to start. And if you have started, keep going. Because that's what the other thing is. Just, we got about, let's say a mile in. I'm like, well, this is fun, but I can go in the car.
We're good.
And I think that's what we do on our race of life. Sometimes we're like, I think I'm going out for some hamburgers or some ice cream.
Need a break.
Crispy donuts. Want to go out. Woo. So I leave the race for a while. I just, and everybody does this. We all leave the race for a little while. Get back on track. Get focused. Know that the start is the hardest. The finish is the easiest. Because once you see the finish line, I'm sure racing relate. It's like, I don't know how much longer this running is. I am over this running thing. And then once you can see the finish line, you're like, woo!
Got this.
Because when you get there, it's over. Mm-hmm. But get excited about the race of life. Make sure you start. Don't stop. And if you do stop, start again. Amen. But the best part is starting. That's the hardest. That's hard to get in. You cross the finish line. You got people cheering you on, and life is good. I know the race is challenging, and the race gets hard, and it gets tough. That's when you need people there to encourage you and keep you focused. Because it's a whole lot easier looking over when that other girl's running or what's running like, okay, I can do this. They can do it, I can do it, we can do this.
But even the little victories in between the race.
Exactly. Because sometimes we got to be purple and orange and yellow, and those are awesome.
Yes, those are great.
Yes.
Good moment. Running around in the field of pink. That's a mini victory right there.
It's true.
You got to be happy.
Exactly. The hardest part is starting.
Starting.
So be encouraged. Get on the race. Run the race. Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment.
Absolutely. Amen.
Amen.
Woo! I'm not ready for marathon. I'm just saying. I am not ready for marathon today.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Pastor Butch.
A lot of you missing today, but that's okay. Billy and them are up with her aunt. It's actually her dad's sister, his oldest sister that passed away Thursday. She would have been 70 Friday, and she passed away on Thursday. So they're all up there. Pastor Ed Keaton's up there. That's his sister also. So the whole family's up there with them right now. They were hoping to have the funeral yesterday, but wasn't able to pull it together, so it's going to be Monday. So everybody just remember them in prayer this past week. Pray that they have strength, because regardless of what, it is hard when you lose somebody like that that's close to you. Billy and Danny actually got to spend time with her the week before. They went up to get everything together because they called him in and said that it could be weeks, it could be days. They didn't really know when. Didn't expect it to happen that quickly, but I know God can comfort them and help them through all this. Amen. My grandfather, just to give you an update, he is home. They sent me a picture, and I just pray that God will strengthen him. You can tell he's just very, very weak. But I know that God can move. And he knows that God can move. Anytime I talk to him, he's still up. He hasn't let this be a defeat to him. He is totally encouraged. I've shared with you guys that he goes to the hospital, he goes to the doctor's office and testifies. How great is that to be able to do that? So just want to kind of give you updates where everything's at and how's Patricia doing.
Well, they have diagnosed her with dementia for sure. That happened yesterday, and she also has diabetes, but they don't know to what extent because they can't get a baseline until she has a baby. So she's about the same. She has a good day once in a while, but pretty much the norm is what we talk about.
So she's still in the hospital?
Yes,
Any
her
news?
daughter went home yesterday. Her son Michael came on Thursday, I believe, and then Henry's coming back on Thursday.
And that's very tiresome, especially when they all live out of town. So the families have to go back and forth. I know how that is. Being there, worried about what's going on and all that. I had to do it with my dad. So I just pray and hopefully I'll be able to see her again this week and just have prayer with her. It's such a joy to go there and just see her just be so lit up to see me and Denise walk in and was able to have prayer with her. So please just remember her in prayer.
What's her name?
Her name is Patricia Copeland. She was here. Actually, my grandfather was here. She was the older lady that sat in the very back. And I know that God can just intervene. Amen.
Amen.
As I was thinking about my message and I got all together yesterday morning, I was really just kind of sitting there yesterday, just kind of contemplating my message and everything. God brought me back to, some of y'all might not know that, I used to do drafting. And I was in engineering, and there was a lot of engineering stuff that I used to deal with and everything. And I started thinking about the houses I'm building, and there's a process of that. Most homeowners feel like when they see a house, and they think of their dream house, they draw it up on paper and everything, but really when they do that, they don't realize what it takes to actually get the accomplishment of the final product. Now what I'm talking about is most of you all that don't know anything about engineering, don't know anything about house building and stuff. The foundation is one of the most important things. Now, if you just go out there and just start building a house, and the foundation ain't deep enough, and it don't have enough rebar in it, what's going to happen? The house is going to collapse because of the foundation not being strong. And I started thinking about that, and God really started dealing with me. I know that I'm going a totally different way where I was planning on, but Denise started it, so y'all can thank her this morning. But God was kind of just, I was kind of thinking about that process. And even before that I could even put it on paper, I had to know a little bit about the house. So I had to go in and do some research on, okay, show me your picture. Okay, let me take your picture and see what it's going to take. Through that process, I had to run some calculations and all this and that to make sure that footer that is going to support that whole house will be strong enough. How many knows that Christianity is the same way? A lot of times I've seen Christians that come up to the altar, get saved, they're so fired up about God, they want to go out and get all their friends saved and everything, and within 3 months, they're back out doing the same thing they were doing before. Why? Because they didn't get a foundation. They went and just saw the house. It was like drawing the house and how wonderful it was. But they didn't really research it and realize what it takes to get that house. By me being in the building side of it and the engineering side of it, 9 times out of 10 I can look at something and tell you, okay, this is going to be a very weak point. And I know what to do to fix those weak points. Why? Because I got trained that way. Why? Because I used to study and do it and really realize it. A lot of times Christianity is the same way. You know, we think that we know it all. I might know some scriptures in here that's going to take me to heaven. But if I don't really build that relationship with God and find out who God is, how can I ever build upon that relationship? That's what happens to a lot of Christians. You know, they come in and, you know, the thing of it is the church has put so many condemnations upon people that they can't live in. And I don't understand it. You know, Jesus didn't do that. He said, I didn't come to condemn the world. I come to save the world. And, you know, that's what we're here for. You know, we are representatives of Christ. Wherever we walk, we are a representative of Christ. At least we should be. Okay? We should be. Everywhere I walk, I should be able to touch somebody's life. And I'm not saying you have to beat them over the head with the Bible, and you don't have to go to them and say, what you're doing is totally wrong. You need to do this. No. Your life should be the representative of Christ, and they should see Christ through you. Not because you're out speaking in tongues and you know all the scriptures and you quote all the scriptures and you sing all the Christian songs. And all. That's not what I'm talking about. By you just being around them, the atmosphere that you create should affect their lives. And as I was thinking about the building process of a house, you know, you got the footer. Okay, you go down, you build down here. We do the monolithic slabs, and what you do, you put the footers within the concrete. But still, yet, what people don't understand, they just think it's a piece of concrete sitting on top of the ground. That's not true. It goes down into the ground at least 18 inches deep, 16 inches wide, and 9 times out of 10, you got 3 rebar that's going across, and then you got all the rebar tied with the other rebars that comes up, that goes up inside the wall, which connects it all together.
You lost me with monolithic. Go ahead.
Monolithic is a solid poured floor. So what they do, they dig the foundation, they go ahead and put all the rebar in. When they come to pour this floor, your floor of the house, all that's poured together in one part. And what a monolithic will actually do is actually allow the house to kind of shift together because it's all together. Where back home, we will use the footers and foundation, which they call stem walls down here. You know, so what you do, you dig down, put your footer in, it still has to be, you know, usually it's about 16 inches deep, 18 inches wide, you still got 3 rebar going through it, you still got the rebar coming up, it's all tied together, but you got a foundation. Okay? Now everybody will ask me which one's stronger. If you do it right, they're equally the same strength. Now, what happens is you have some builders out there and some people that don't understand that process, and they might put 1 rebar in there. Okay? Now, eventually, what's going to happen? The weight of the house itself will actually crack the concrete because there is nothing there to keep it lateral. You know? So what ends up happening is they end up with a weak foundation. That's what happens with Christians a lot of times. The foundation, you never really get deep into the Word, and so all you're still got the goosebumps, and you're feeling, you know, the presence of God, and you're all excited because God's in it. But the first thing that comes against you, guess what happens? You crumble. The first hurricane that comes through, guess which house is going to crumble? The one that didn't have the good foundation. Because it can't handle the pressure. It can't handle those wind forces that's coming against it with the load of the house. And then as you build the house, you go on up, and you know, the thing of it is I make sure when I go in, one reason why they have inspections is to ensure that everything is put in place the way it's supposed to be put in place. The rebars have to be spaced a certain distance. You know, then before you pour that solid cell with concrete, they go around to double check to make sure that rebar's down where it's supposed to be. You know, it ain't going to do no good if the rebar don't go all the way to the top. Right? So what happens is, you know, you got to go around and check all that, and then when you put the roof on, you know, you got the trusses going in. The trusses have to have straps. You know, before they pour the concrete, the guy has to go in and actually lay out the straps for all What happens if it misses one? Thank God they make Tapcons. Because then what you got to do, you got to Tapcon one end and strap it in to make sure that everything's secure. And you can't pass inspection without all that. Our life, do you not think that God comes back and He's the inspector of our life? It shouldn't be people. A lot of times people want to be the inspector and say, well, you know, they show a good front when they come to church. And they put on a good front in front of everybody and they look like they're a good Christian. But as soon as they're out of here, that's not for me to decide that. That's not for you to decide that. That's God to decide if they're living the way they're supposed to be. But still yet, it goes back to the footer and the foundation. If you ain't strong enough on that foundation, you're going to have bad days. And sometimes what happens is when people don't have that solid foundation and they don't have that solid relationship with God, what happens? They just fade away. You never see them again. You never hear from them again. Yeah, they're reading the Word, but the words ain't penetrating what needs to be penetrated because it's just words to it. When the Bible is life, it's not dead. It's total life in there. The reason why the stories are so important in the Bible is so that we can make it from day to day. That's why we can look at Job's life and realize, we can fast forward to the end and see that it's well worth all the aggravation. It's well worth all the pain and agony that I'm going through. David and Goliath, you can look back on that story and you can tell that, at the end, if you're with Christ and Christ calls you to whatever, however big that giant might look in front of you, you can take it down. You can stand it on the Word of God and you go in there with His presence. The thing you need to remember is God come. He sent Jesus down. Jesus Christ is the Savior. He came down here, and the things He told them was, I did not come to condemn the world. I've come to save it. Now, how did He do that? Through love. If I'm going around and I'm total just condemning everybody that's around me, and I'm condemning everything that they're doing, and I'm condemning the way they're living life, and I look at all their faults, and I bring up the faults in front of them, and I think, well, that's my responsibility to show them their faults. I hate to break it to you, it's not. Yeah, but they're going to lose their soul if I don't show them that they're totally doing wrong. That's not your responsibility. Jesus showed us by going after the one. When the multitudes came, but the one left, what did He do? He went to get the one. And the thing that we forget is that one soul is sometimes more important to God than the multitudes. Do you realize that when somebody rededicates their life, the one person that comes to God, there is more joyous in heaven than there is if multitudes of Christians finally make it to heaven? You understand that? Why? Because that's one more soul that we've got away from Satan. That's one more person that can make it because God came into their life. The church is not here to condemn. The church is here to love. The church is not one here that's supposed to tell you, you should be doing this, and this. Because then it comes back to condemnation. She's excited to see Mommy. It's not our responsibility to sit there and go and say, okay, now listen, I always love these. I could never be a part of the so-called club members associations. You got to come in, you got to wear a tie, you got to wear a suit, you got to look this way, you got to look that way, you got to smell a certain way, you got to have your hair cut a certain way, all this and that, or you're not allowed to be part of the club. If you don't make a certain amount of money, you're not part of the club. Could I do that? Yeah, I could. But it wouldn't fulfill me. Because it'd be all front, just a front that I'm trying to do to try to get into the club. And trying to get recognized by the club. Christianity ain't that way. See, what I love is you can take the worst looking person, the person that is mostly on drugs and alcohol, they just can't get off the drugs, they can't get off alcohol and everything else, and can see them come in, get their life straightened up. I don't have to tell that guy that he has to go and get changed, or that woman. God does it. Next thing you know, they come out to church. I've seen this happen. I've seen people come out and not have anything, and all they lived for was drugs and alcohol and partying and just, enjoying life that way. And then they come to God, and God just shows them love. And the church shows them love. They might not look the same as me and you. They might not act the same as me and you. But you start showing them love, you see what happens. I've seen them come in and not have anything. And, and then within a matter of years, you see them, they're wanting to get a job. They're wanting to better themselves. They come dressed up. I'll never forget, back in my mom's church, I was youth pastor, and we had all different types to show up. My mom was on television, so she reached out to the whole tri-state area, and we'd have people come in that, and then we had, I'll never forget, we had one family member come in, and all of them had a drug abuse problem. Okay? They didn't have anything. They didn't even have a good car. They didn't have a house. They were renting. They were going from apartment to apartment and all this and that. They came in, changed their life, found out that God was real, let the Holy Spirit move on them. Look back a year and a half later, they come dressed up for church. They feel like they need to wear suit and tie. My mom didn't go to them and say, listen, you can't be part of the church if you don't wear a suit and tie. My mom never confessed that you had to look a certain way to be a Christian. She just let the process take over and let God do it. And when they started reading the Word, they started finding out the Word was true. They started finding out that they could be prosperous, being a Christian, getting their focus back on. I never forget that the husband and wife both ended up getting better jobs. Before too long, they ended up getting their own house. They never dreamed they'd ever get their own house. A little bit later, you'd see that they ended up driving new cars. Never dreamed they'd ever get a new car. I've seen that happen. But the good thing was, my mom would never, ever give up on them. They might slip back. And they would call her and cry and everything, and felt they cast judgment on themselves, other than, and they were just looking for my mom to say something nice to them to try to help them. And she never gave up on them. She always talked to them, always put strength into them, told them that there was something better out there for them. But they had to get their relationship with Christ first. Just like you can go out here and look at the most beautiful house in the world that's 10,000 square foot, that's got a huge pool and everything in it. But if the thing was not put together correctly, that house is no more cost effective than the small houses, because it's going to just tear down. Goes the same thing with our life with Christ. If we're just putting on a facade, and we walk around and we never really truly trust God for anything, and we really and truly speak doubt in our lives, and we don't allow the Spirit of God to start getting inside of us and changing the way we look at things, changing the way that we speak to things, changing the way that you'll never be a success on here on earth or in heaven. One day when we all die and we get out of here, we're going to go, why didn't I listen? Why, when God was going, hello, you need to get out of your bed and pray this morning, and He takes you back to that moment that you decided, no, I'm too tired, I'm just going to throw the covers over my head and go back to sleep. And show you what the outcome could have been versus what happened. You'll go, why didn't I go ahead and listen? That's why 9 times out of 10, when I'm woke up by something in the middle of the night, the first thing I do is go, God, are you trying to get my attention for something? And I'll lay there for a few minutes. And there's been times that different people will pop in my head. I'll get out of bed, I'll go and pray. Don't feel nothing else, I'll go back to bed, sleep fine. I had to learn that process because there was times in my life that I would ignore that and just roll over and I'd toss and turn all night. Versus if I would have just got out of bed, done what he wanted me to, he would let me alone and let me get some sleep. Instead, I'd lay there, be lazy, thinking I'd be all right, and I wake up just as tired as I was when I went to bed. But that's a process. Same thing with building a house. It's a process. You know, if I mess up on one little item in that house, it could be a disaster if it's going to be a good house or a bad house. Now, most homeowners that I deal with, they see the final product, okay? And that's the only thing that they see. They don't see the other stuff. Even though I encourage them to come out and walk the house. So I have nothing to hide from you. You can come and walk the house anytime you want. The 9 times out of 10 when they point out something, when I look at a house, I look at it totally different than the homeowner. Because when I walk in the house, I'm looking to make sure that the walls are straight. I'm making sure that there's no plumbing out of line that needs to be fixed. You know, I'm looking at all that detail, making sure that the insulation's in place where it needs to be in place. I'm looking at, is the windows secure? Looking to see if the doors are secure enough. You know, the homeowner's going in looking and going, why is there so many screws in this door?
Why is there a nick in the wall?
Why is there a nick in the wall? Why do I see a blemish right here on the drywall? See, to me, that's just minute stuff. I don't really care about that. The main thing I care about, okay, let's grab a hold of that wall and see if it's going to stay there. Let's make sure it's nailed properly. Let's make sure that all the studs are in properly. Let's make sure that the roof looks right. There is no big tubes in it. You know, that's straight. It's flat. You know, that's my eye. You know, it kills me because I go to Disney, and I guess because I know everybody in their own profession probably does this, but I can go to Disney or we can go out and eat somewhere, and the first thing I do, I'm sitting there looking at the buildings. You know, I think I could have done a better job for Disney than this. You know, they redid Test Track, and I'll never forget, I walked in after they redid it and everything, and I saw some of where they put the caulking on and everything, and I thought, I know I could have done a better job than that. That is pathetic. They pay these guys this much money, and the caulking is cracked. You know, those things just irritate me sometimes when I go out and I know the money that they spend on this stuff and it's not correct. Yeah, that's why 9 times out of 10, after I walk the house with a homeowner, you know, they'll come in and I'll walk the house before they walk. Okay, I've got the blue tape out, and they come in and walk and they go, I never even saw that spot. And it's something that's, you know, to me stands out like a sore thumb. To them, they didn't even see it. You know, and, you know, I go through a house like if it's my house. That's why I've got such a good rapport, you know, with my homeowners is because I treat their house no different than I do my own. Do you not think that God treats your life like it's His own?
My daughter goes to a church, Haitian church. She's got to wear a bonnet or something. It doesn't matter if it's a Kleenex over her head. Can't wear earrings. Got to wear a certain kind of skirt, this, that, and the other. And she doesn't go half the time because she doesn't have the specific attire. And I tell her, go to a regular church where you don't have, God doesn't say we have to dress a certain way to come to church and to get that foundation for you and your family. Just go as you are.
And, you know, sometimes we get so caught up in that stuff that we forget, you know, total outcome is having a life with Christ. It's just like a lot of my homeowners will look at a house and they look at certain, it's like I got a homeowner right now, and he texted me over the weekend, and the house has already been drywalled. It's already got the texture on the walls and the ceilings and everything. And he goes, I want smooth ceilings. Well, it's a little too late to let me know that now. So, if they don't let you know things up front, how are you going to get to that potential that they're expecting at the end? If you don't let God know up front of what your dreams are, what your desires are, and if you don't really get into the Word and find out what your responsibilities are as a Christian, you'll never reach that final potential. One thing that I liked was, he delights in meeting our needs, and he does. He enjoys it because he knows that, especially if you give him the credit where the credit is due. Matthew 7, 9 through 11, it says that he knows what your needs physically, emotionally, spiritually. He knows what you need right now. He knows what you need tomorrow. He knows what you need a year from now. Even though when you didn't know where you were going and what was going on, and you get all upset, even through those bad times that you feel like that God's not there, he knows exactly what you need at that time. So don't think that he don't care. 9 times out of 10, he's waiting for you. So what I was going to say was, after I go through and walk this house and I get my guys in to go in and do the touch-ups and stuff, I do another walk with the homeowners. And 9 times out of 10, the homeowners don't know this, but this is what I do. Sometimes I leave certain things because I want to do it myself. Why? Because I know it'll be done right. Okay? So a lot of times I'll leave certain little things for homeowners to pick out. 9 times out of 10, I've already got tape on it. And when they go, well, how about this stuff? I'm going to take care of that as soon as we leave. As soon as you leave the house, I'll be taking care of this stuff and it'll be done today. For example, doors. I can get guys out there 3 or 4 times to try to adjust deadbolts where I can do it one time and get it done in a matter of seconds where it takes them all day to do it. Why? Because it's the way my dad trained me. My dad trained me what to look for. That's why when there's roof leaks and stuff, my dad was a roofer. Okay, that's where he started out his career with roofing. And then he went into guttering. And then he went into maintenance. And I was there with him through all these different processes. And that's why 9 times out of 10, they'll send me out on a roof leak before they send anybody else out because I know where to look. I know what to look for. I know where, find the location of the leak. The leak might be there, but that don't mean that's where it's leaking at. It could be way up on top of the roof. A lot of times Christianity is the same way. We can't see that it's something really minute, like getting up and praising and worshiping. The one thing that we get, that Christians do that we need to really look at is a lot of times the only time we ever talk to God is when you need something. It's okay. The only time we ever get down on our knees and pray is because we're looking for something. We need something. Something's going on in my life. I need you right now. I need you to do this and 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 this. It's just like my girls. Okay? I don't know if I want to go down that road. But it's like, give me, and I'm looking at them going, okay, what are you going to give me back for this?
I love you, Daddy.
It's like, okay, I'm dishing out this money for car insurance, gas, and food, and blah, 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 blah. What are you doing for me? I just want you to straighten up the house.
Preach.
But I'm tired of that. I'm tired of always having to straighten up the house. Okay, well, I'm tired of having to give you money.
Preach.
Where's the girls? They need to hear this.
But you know, that's how God is sometimes.
No.
When are you going to give me thanks and just praise and worship me and just, you know, it's not all about give me, give me, give me. It's more about I surrender, I trust in you, I love you, I worship you, I give it all to you.
You still love them, even though they ask. God still loves us.
That's it. God still loves us and He'll let us wallow a little bit. And, you know, that's when we feel like we got to cry out, we got to give up food, and we got to do this, and we got to do that because we can't see that God's doing something. And then we're really trying to get His attention because there's something desperately that we need. And, you know, I'm doing everything I can do. I'm crying every day. I'm weeping, and I don't feel like I can make it anymore. But God, you said you would put more on me than I can bear. He goes, I haven't. When you going to wake up to smell the coffee? I'm waiting for you just to worship me and give it all to me. The sooner you find that out, the sooner that you do that, the sooner things start clicking in your life. Trust me. I wallowed in that for years. Oh God, you know me, Denise is trying so hard, and I don't feel you, and I don't see you. Why? I know you can just give me the lottery. I know you can do this. I know you can do that.
Amen.
Why? Well, how many times have you worshiped me this week? Well, that don't really matter right now. Why don't you give me what I need?
I love you, Daddy.
I do love you. You know I do.
Put it out there, Butch. Put it out there.
But why? Until I really found out it's about knowing God. And it's about moving into those relationships and those friendships and the different things that we're supposed to be moving and jiving in and showing that God loves them. And you know, I have people all the time ask me, Butch, why are you always like this? You're never up, you're never really down, you're just constant. And I said, you really want to know? Yeah. Because I trust God in all things. Well, no matter what the problem is with this house that we're dealing with, no matter how great it is, you never get upset about it. What does that help? If I go around screaming and hollering, I said, how would that make you feel? If I started the pointing the fingers on who to blame first, and how many knows we all like to do that?
We all do.
Yeah, okay, where were you at? Yeah, we become a detective at that point. Where were you at? What did you do? What did you touch? What did you, you know, you're taking all these notes down. Okay, well, it might be you, but let me go to the next person. Okay, what did you have to do with this job? What did you do? What did you, and now we want to become a detective so that we can start pointing the finger game. Where when I walk in, and I'm not saying this all the time, I do the same thing every once in a while, but 9 times out of 10, when it's a major issue, I walk in and look at it and say, okay, it don't really matter, we got to fix it. Let me think about it a few days, and we'll come back with a fix that will fix it. Think about it, pray about it, ask God to show me how to fix it. Whatever the issue is, I go in, talk to some of the, maybe even, you know, I'll call up even the inspectors to make sure the fix that I think that I know that will work, are they okay with? Is it up to code? Will it be all right with them? Yeah, I do my research on it before I just jump in and do it. You know, sometimes I've found out that you just go ahead and do it and ask for permission later ain't really the great attitude to have. Because they'll come back and get you. The thing of it is making sure that your relationship is with God. Don't just put a Band-Aid on it and think, well, okay, I went through this and I made it through that, and now, you know, I can trust you a little bit. No, you need to trust Him with everything. You need to ask Him to bless everything that you touch. You know, I know it's really hard without tithes and offering and everything. But I guarantee you, I can go through this congregation and I can almost, without even looking at the books, to see who's paid their tithes and who has not paid their tithes, who is really trusting on God and seeing it working on their behalf. That's why I don't get up here and start. That whenever you give back to God, it's going to be given back to you. Whenever you give it and you go, well, I got to do my duties this week, and you make it into a duty, you're not getting blessed no more. And that's why my mom would never pass an offering plate. That's where I get. I went a little step further. Ours is in the back. At least she still prayed over the offering. I don't even do that anymore. Because, church is put on such an emphasis. When God told me to start the church, He told me not to put an emphasis upon an offering. Because He wanted to show me something. And Lord, as He showed me something.
I listened to Clint Brown service one day, and he was talking about trust in the church. And he said, you're going to say, how do you trust your neighbor? See, did they tithe?
And the thing of it is, you really don't, the thing about tithing is, I had a real good example one time that John Ambrosini said, and I'll never forget it. He pulled out a $100 bill that he made a copy of, and you take 10% of that, you cut it off. The rest of that is yours, okay? But when you cut that 10% off and you tithe it to God, guess what happens? That other percentage that you got, that 90% that you got, is totally blessed by God. So therefore, anytime that you go and purchase anything with that money, it's the best. He had an example, and this is one thing that I've never forgotten, is a guy goes in to buy tires, he paid his tithes on it. The guy goes up to reach up and grab a tire that's got a blemish on it. The phone rings. He goes and answers the phone, he goes back, and this is a guy that bought the tires and his tithe, and he gave his tithes to God. So the guy goes back out and he grabs the tire next to it. Those little things is what God does for us, and we don't see that everything that is in our checking account, if it's tithed on, it's blessed by God. That's why I've heard people say, when I tithe, it seems like our money goes a lot further. Well, the reason why is because God ordains that. Now, that's my tithe speech for the year. You probably won't hear it again today. But you need to know that there is a blessing that comes along with that. It's not that I'm trying to get you to pay tithes. Don't take it that way. But it's my responsibility to let you know when you do that, why you do that is because you get blessed by God. I guarantee you I can go through the room today and bring you up and say, the ones that have paid their tithes, how much has God blessed you? It always comes back. Regardless of what you give, it always comes back. God will oversee if you let Him, even in the finances. He loves to bless us financially. And sometimes we go, but you don't see, I don't know where I'm going to get enough money to eat lunch today. Well, those are those times that God goes, okay, Pastor Butch has asked you to go eat with him today to take care of that. 9 times out of 10, if you really look, there's always times that there might not be even food in the pantry. I think I told you all one time, I'll never, I know I'm sharing a lot this morning, but there was this one time that Dad went for several months, not just weeks, several months without work because of the snow. It's back in the late 70s, early 80s when we had snow on top of snow. It seemed like it snowed every day, and it just kept accumulating. Well, my dad did construction work. How many knows that you can't do construction work into the snow unless you got a house under the roof? Well, he didn't have a house under the roof. We were in the process of building a house. And, so we went several months with no money coming into the office. He was the only one that worked. My mom did not work. She was pastor. At that time, they would pay her, I think it was like $100 a week or something like that. For a household of 4 people using electric, they had an electric bill that was over $300 and a house payment that was over $200. You calculate that. $250, and then gas money and all that. You calculate it. But I'll never forget, the church found out about our needs and everything, and they gave us all this groceries and, brought food in and everything, and Dad had this big pantry that he built. We stockpile all this stuff in there, and going through several months, that lasted quite a while, but at the very end, I'll never forget, the only thing that was still on the shelf was a can of hash. My mom had no idea how to even fix hash. Okay, so she just gets it, dumps it in this pan, bakes it, pulls it out. Okay, boys, sorry, but this is all we got. This is it. Well, I remember me and my brother, I took ketchup and mustard and everything else I could think of and try to give it some kind of taste and seasoning. And we tried it. I said, Mom, I'm sorry, I just can't eat this. Take it out to the dog. The dog wouldn't even eat it. And also, about that time, here come my aunt and uncle. He'd been out shoveling snow and whatever he could to make a little bit of money, painting and stuff. And here him and my aunt came in with about 6 or 7 bags of groceries. Now, it wasn't a lot. It was some canned soup, I think, and some sandwich stuff. But that got us through another few weeks. Through all that, and I remember one time my mom, through that same period of time, she was saving the money back for our electric bill. And she knew exactly, she was like $50 short, $20 short, I can't remember. One of those, but she had it in a glove box, locks. And she pulled out and recounted, thinking that I guess it was going to grow one day. And she kept sticking it in there, and she still knew she was short. She didn't know what she was going to do. They were giving us a cutoff notice and all that. And so she pulls it out. She goes, I'm going to count it one more time. She started counting. And I think about it, it's $40 short because there was 2 20s in there, upside down, backwards, because she always kept them all in a line. But you got to remember, it was locked up in the glove box, and God blesses her with $40 so that she could go and pay it. Now, people look at me and go, oh, that's crazy. God wouldn't do that. Oh, yes, He would. See, when my mom became a pastor, I was looking through we've been going through the house and straightening up some things because Todd and Jessica's going to be here. It's the 1st of December. They're going to live with us. 1st of August, I'm sorry.
August.
I don't know why I'm thinking December. They're going to be here in August. She did get a job, thank God. She's going to be working for Marriott. We thank God for that, for blessing her. But they're going to be living with us for a few months until they get on their feet so that they can go out and get their own place. And so we was going through some stuff, and I found like 3 or 4 of my mom's notebooks that I didn't even know I had. And I was kind of flipping through there, and she was talking about ministers, and she said, one of the number one things, the reason why Paul explained to people that you must die out daily is ministers have to do that every day to walk in the anointing of God, to have His anointing on our lives. But not only ministers, that goes for everybody. That's why I've got in the habit of saying a prayer every day. The other day, I'm to the point now I can almost say it without even looking at it. Now, I've done it for 3 years now. And I say 2 different prayers every morning. It starts out, and I can say them almost. And one day I thought, am I just doing this, just going through the motions, or do I really believe this? And I really believe it, because it talks about Him ordering every step I take. The other one is I pray over my body every day. God will protect me. I know He's the great physician. He's the healer. God, I pray that you touch every bone, joint, ligament, tissue, organ, and cell of my body. Because this is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. I say that every morning. And you know how much that makes a difference in your life when you just do that little simple thing. It's not that we got to get down and spend hours and hours and hours with God. It's great if you can. But most of us can't do that. It's great if you can sit down and read the Word on hours on end. But even if you just crack the cover of it and just read one or two little scriptures. That gets rooted into your system. You go, well, I don't know what to read. Read Proverbs. You can never go wrong with Proverbs or Psalms. You can never ever go wrong with them because it's always uplifting. Proverbs talk about everything that goes on in your life. Tells you how to deal with it. Get in there. Just read one or two scriptures. I guarantee it'll change your life. Amen?
Amen.
Everybody stand with me this morning. I pray you got some.